What a weekend in the world of golf ahead. Nice to have you aboard. I'm Will Doctor, bringing you the latest as far as the world of golf, and we have a thriller in front of us over the next 2 days in Palm Springs. One more to go at the Dubai Desert Classic as Houston native Patrick Reed carries a four-shot lead over David Puig there at Emirates Golf Course. We'll hear from Reed and the Chasers. Not only David Puig, sitting 3 shots back, 4 shots back now, actually. Victor Hovland right there at 9 under. We'll hear from Hovland later. We'll hear from Francesco Molinari, 2018 Open champion, who is in contention in Dubai, starting to get his game back. Wow. I mean, so awesome to have two guys in Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Reed, both Texas guys, leading the two leaderboards worldwide. Patrick Reed told the press this week that he loved to be playing back on the PGA Tour after seeing the return of Brooks Koepka. Of course, we'll see Koepka next week at Torrey. We've got the great executive producer Ryan Morrow on the ones and twos. Ryan, would you watch the PGA Tour if 2018 Masters champion Patrick Reed made a comeback?
I'll be honest, probably not. I've only ever really been a very casual viewer of golf, and so just the name itself doesn't really strike as.
100% understand there. What about Koepka, five-time major champion? When you see the Koepka highlights, when you see that Koepka's there on Sunday, are you tuning in?
Definitely more likely.
Definitely more likely. But I think the bottom line here is when you talk about the average sports fan, there's just not a whole lot of people that are missing these live guys. You might have a different opinion. Is there anyone out there that misses Patrick Reed? 713-780 ESPN is the number. The main storyline, we'll get to Reed later, the main storyline going into this weekend is world number one Scotty Scheffler, who has put on an absolute show through 2 rounds in Palm Springs, opening 63-64 at La Quinta and Nicklaus Tournament, and he'll take on the grueling stadium course today at 12:30 Central. A ton of the media elites were telling you all week, Scheffler has slow starts to the season. Scheffler can't keep up in the birdie fest. Scheffler is overpriced as far as Vegas is concerned. You got people out there trying to sound smart, saying Scheffler is overpriced to start these weeks. You got people talking about how Scheffler is just going to be getting warmed up. I don't think a warm-up is what Scheffler had in mind this week. Listen in.
I definitely don't show up to tournaments trying to get my game into shape. I like to be prepared, and that's something that I pride myself on. And so I like to say that's a good gauge just because it's different being in competition, I think, than practicing at home. You can do your best to simulate it, but I don't think there's anything like coming out here and playing and posting a 72-hole score. And so tournament golf's always just a bit different. And so you can prepare as hard as you can, but sometimes you do have to shake off a little bit of competitive rust just from an extended break.
Yeah, you had some writers questioning whether Scheffler could keep up in a birdie fest. We just saw him take it to 31 under last year at the Byron Nelson. He can obviously keep up in any kind of format you need him to, whether it's the Open or the PGA, where it's a tougher golf course, or at more to scoring festival like TPC Craig Ranch or like we're seeing this week in Palm Springs. This is Scheffler's 20th career 36-hole lead, and this is a big milestone week for him if he can get the job done. If Scheffler wins tomorrow at Stadium, he would become the first player to 20 PGA Tour wins under the age of 30 since Tiger Woods, and the only players who, in the whole history of golf, who have won at least 20 times under 30. That would be only Tiger and Jack. Now, Scheffler still has 5 months before he turns 30. So he's got some time, but I doubt he's going to waste much, as far as joining the club at 20 wins. That is a massive deal. And this is a perfect place for him to do it, not only because of the history. Palmer was a 5-time winner here. Nicklaus won here in 63 in a playoff over Gary Player. Johnny Miller won twice in Palm Springs. John Mahaffey was a 2-time winner at the Amex. Ed Fiore won in 83. Phil Mickelson won it twice. Palm Springs and this tournament are a historical landmark as far as the PGA Tour schedule is concerned. And being that this could be the last tournament here. Unfortunately, I keep hearing Hawaii and Palm Springs are gone under the new leadership of Brian Rolop. Being that this could be the last time around in Palm Springs, it would be incredibly fitting for Scheffler to be the last champion here. And only Palm Springs and Memphis for the St. Jude has he played 5 or more times and not won. Another reason it would be fitting why no one would be surprised, Scheffler over the years, he's got a runner-up here at the Amex and a couple other top 20 finishes. He's got a ton of work to do over the next 36 holes because tied with him at 17 under is a young phenom in Blades Brown, who we will get to quite in depth in today's show. This is an unbelievable story, with the 18-year-old playing his 6th day of competitive golf in a row as he juggles the schedule between the Korn Ferry Tour and PGA Tour. He is now this came in from a listener. Credit to Adam. Credit to listener Sheriff here. Blades Brown is the son of Rhonda Blades Brown, who made the first 3-pointer in WNBA history. How about that? What an athlete. What genes Blades Brown has. He is ready to roll heading into the weekend at Palm Springs. You would have to go back to Jordan Spieth over 10 years ago to find an 18-year-old, with this much talent in the world of golf. And he played KFT Bahamas Saturday to Wednesday. He gets on a plane and flies from Bahamas to Palm Springs on Wednesday evening, wakes up Thursday, shoots 67 at La Quinta, was 5 back of Pearson Coody and Minwoo Lee after day 1. And then yesterday, Blades Brown was 12 under par through 15 holes. This is an 18-year-old we're talking about. 12 under through 15. Parred in from there to shoot 60. Had a great birdie look inside 10 feet on the final hole. Couldn't get it to go. But here was Brown right off the 18th green. If he was aware that he was on 59 watch.
Of course I did, yeah. I just stuck to my game plan. I said, okay, I'm going to execute the shots that I can control. And, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the job done this time, but I am so stoked to have shot 60 on the PGA Tour.
How about the maturity? All right. He just became the youngest player in PGA Tour history to record a round of 60 or better. And this is not the first time Brown has done this in professional golf. He fired a 60 in a KFT event last year as well. He is an absolute savant. Hits it 350 plus off the tee. If you saw the tee shot, he hit on the 9th hole, his 18th at Nicklaus yesterday. It's about a 390 run out to the left water hazard. He ran it right up there, just short of that hazard. Hit it about 380 off that tee. He's got a well-rounded game. And I'm fired up to watch him this weekend. Now, we did not see a shot of the first 12 holes of Brown's round of 60 yesterday. Now, ESPN Plus does have their handful this week. You got 3 courses. You've got 13 of the top 30 in the world in the field. You got a lot going on. But to not show one shot of Pearson Coody's 10 under 60 on Thursday at Nicklaus, and to not show Blades Brown going 8 under through 8 yesterday at Nicklaus Tournament, I don't want to hammer on this broadcast too much. Once again, a lot going on at the Amex as far as the ins and out of the broadcast. But, if you're the executive producer of that ESPN Plus feed and you're trying to bring in a new audience, you have to have your young stars front and center on the screen. Pearson Coody, Johnny Kiefer's playing well, Blades Brown, Michael Thorby Jorgensen, Sam Stevens, S.H. Kim. If you've got 3 ESPN Plus feeds going, you've got to have some space for those guys. Scheffler and Blades Brown, they both go off at Stadium Course today, which is the toughest of the 3. Scheffler's cruising alongside Justin Rose. Brown is in a very comfortable pairing with former PGA Tour U-1 David Ford. They're off at 10:52 a.m. Central. That pairing with Ford has been a big key for Brown over the last 2 days. Here he was on that.
I mean, David's an unbelievable player. We went back and forth the entire time. He said that he made birdie on hole 16, and he was like, I finally have the honor today on the golf course. And I was like, nice. But no, David's awesome, and I had a lot of fun playing with him today.
It's amazing that these two are 5 years apart. Ford 23, Brown 18, yet they've logged the same amount of time as professionals. The difference is Ford spent 4 years in North Carolina, while Blades Brown opted to go straight from high school to the pros. That is a great pairing going off there just before 11. Interesting matchup there, Ford versus Brown as well on the books. And Ford's been committable this week, sitting 11 under in a tie for 26th. I would say the entire world of golf this weekend wants to see Scheffler and Blades make it to the final group on Sunday. I think this is a heavyweight matchup. Two players that define consistency not only on the golf course but off as well. These are two players, and Scheffler can do it alone, but Scheffler and Blades Brown, these are two players who can absolutely carry the game for the next 25 years. When you listen to Blades Brown in the interviews, this is an 18-year-old talking like he's 40. And plus he hits at 350, chips the ball great. You can just tell right now that this guy, he's built a little different with the same intangibles that Scheffler and Spieth have. And world number one spoke about the 18-year-old just before he tapped in for 60. Listen in.
No, I mean, these kids coming out, they know they got to come out and make some birdies. And I think when you're coming out young, you don't have as much scar tissue as the guys that are in the season. You just come out, if you want to make a name for yourself, you got to come up with some good scores. Sounds like
All right, a little fuzzy there, but Scheffler, bottom line is he's definitely in his lane, understands that, the world of golf is getting younger. The average age of the player making it on tour, it's not 35 anymore. Players are coming straight out of school, and not only straight out of school, but some cases, like Brown, skipping college to go straight to the pros. We'll hear from some other vets later on. Ricky Fowler spoke in depth about how you're seeing an 18-year-old now contend on the PGA Tour. Here in a few years, could be a 14 or 15-year-old. That's the way this game is going. We'll hear from Fowler, talk about that. Brown, he handled not shooting 59 very well. This is the youngest player to take a lead after any round at the PGA Tour since Ty Tryon in 2001, fellow IMG alum. You've had some young 36-hole co-leaders over the years, but never as young as Blades. Patrick Cantlay held a 36-hole lead at the 2011 Travelers at 19 years old. Joaquin Niemann held a 36-hole lead at Jack's Place in 2018 at 19 years old. And a 19-year-old Jordan Spieth was the leader at the halfway point at Congressional in 2013. Blades Brown's younger than all of them. So this is a big deal rolling into the weekend at the Amex. Looking down the leaderboard, Siwoo Kim is in third place. He went 63 at Nicklaus Tournament, then 65 at Stadium yesterday. Siwoo Kim may tear up La Quinta today. This is a guy who is obviously feeling the putter on the POA greens in Palm Springs. We've covered Siwoo a lot over the last couple weeks. Ball striking it amazing, but just hasn't found the putter over the last 6 months. But when you looked at his profile going into this week, you will notice that Siwoo Kim has consistently rolled it well every year at these three golf courses. He's at the easiest of the three, sitting one back. And remember, Scheffler and Brown, I don't think Scheffler's going anywhere. I was on Scheffler to start the week. But if you're kind of looking at this from the situation of, Scotty's got to play Stadium today, Blades has to play Stadium today. What if they shoot 1 or 2 under, lose a little bit of room? The one guy who is on top of his game going into the third round that is not playing Stadium today is Siwoo Kim. There is value there for Siwoo at plus 245 to lead after round 3. Other odds to lead after round 3, Scheffler's plus 180. Brown is 11-1. Wyndham Clark is 12-1. Yeah, if Scheffler wasn't involved in this tournament, Siwoo at plus 245, Wyndham at 12-1. Both playing at the easy La Quinta course after stellar rounds at Stadium. Those are the two guys, that would have the serious value to lead after today's round. If you're someone who thinks Stadium is going to give Scheffler and Brown a hard time, I don't think it will. S.H. Kim and Matt McCarty in a share of fourth at 15 under. You've got a six-way logjam at 14 under with names like Ricky Fowler, Wyndham Clark sitting three back. You have six players sitting four back at 13 under. That's Russell Henley, Austin Smotherman, Patrick Cantlay, Ben Griffin, Michael Thorby Johnson, and Sam Stevens. And then at 12 under, five back is Andrew Novak. Our guy, Max Gracerman, can visit Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Listen to our exclusive conversation with Gracerman's caddy over the offseason. You also have Tom Hoagie there at 12 under, five back, Carl Phillips, Keith Mitchell, Sam Burns, Harris English. I am fired up for the weekend at the Amex and Dubai Desert Classic. Your calls nonstop for one glorious hour. 713-780-3776. We'll be back after this break.
Mike Booker, chairman of the Texas Golf Hall of Fame and holder of a record number of Texas Golf Association championships.
The Texas Golf Hall of Fame is the foundation of golf in our great state. So many great individuals, Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Kathy Whitworth, Ben Crenshaw, and many others, lead the way in making golf in Texas known around the world. Now you can experience the history of Texas golf digitally at texasgolfhof.org and share with your family and friends. See you on the course.
This is the Golf Hour
on ESPN 97.5 and the ESPN Houston app.
From the Huntington Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor.
All right, top five names on the Amex leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler and Blades Brown lead the way through two rounds at 17 under. Siwoo Kim starts the third round, one back at 16 under, and then in a tie for fourth is S.H. Kim and Matt McCarty. Before we get to your call, 713-780-3776 is the number. Just want to get to where the players from Texas stand at Palm Springs after two rounds. We talked Scheffler. He's tied at the top. Siwoo Kim is at 16 under in third place. He lives in Dallas, so we can't leave him out. Adopted Texan there, Siwoo Kim. Sam Stevens is tied 12th at 13 under with Tom Hoagie, a shot behind him at 12 under. And okay, got it. Stevens and Hoagie. Stevens at 13 under, Hoagie at 12 under. Two guys right there from Fort Worth. You've got friend of the show, Johnny Kiefer, in a tie for 26 at 11 under, starting the weekend 6 back. Mac Meisner is in a tie for 35th at 10 under after a second round 64 at La Quinta. And another friend of the show, Pearson Coody, we'll get to his audio a little bit later on. Pearson Coody is tied for 35th at 10 under. Stadium course stalled him out a bit yesterday. Coody fired even par around Stadium after the big start. We'll get to his chances at La Quinta a little bit later on. 713-780-3776 is the number. Sheriff wants to talk about Blades Brown. Sheriff, good morning. How we doing?
Doc, how you doing, brother?
Oh, man, it's great to hear your voice. I'm fired up for the weekend coverage. Hope you are as well. A little cold here in Houston. We've got a cold front rolling in. Whole place is going to be frozen over, but hope you have some better weather in your neck of the woods there, Sheriff.
I'm looking out at a frozen tundra, or soon-to-be frozen tundra, that is the hills of Austin, Texas. So, yeah, we're going to find out here shortly, but hoping you guys are staying good and warm over there in the Gulf.
Yeah, we got the pipes wrapped and taking the proper precautions here. But it's going to be a weekend on the couch. Got golf on all weekend. Scotty Scheffler, Blades Brown tied at the top at 17 under. Let me get your thoughts there. What's on your mind there, Sheriff?
I mean, first and foremost, oh no, right? We have to sit on the couch and watch golf all weekend. That's horrible, right? Like this is terrible. I mean, the timing of the sport is impeccable. I just want to start there. It's always there when you need it the most. It's, that post college football, NFL's wrapping up. You're like, what am I going to do with my life? And there's golf every single year just to remind you, hey, I'm going to guide you through this. Warm weather's coming. Just wait.
All right, Adam.
So
let me ask you this coming off of that. The PGA Tour is thinking about pushing the season back well after NFL and college football gets done. These first 3 weeks here, the Sony in Hawaii, the American Express in Palm Springs, and then Torrey Pines, these are still, and Phoenix Open still going on during Super Bowl week. Does that interfere with your watching, or are you dialed in with the golf even as the NFL gets wrapped up?
I would say that I choose golf over NFL, A, because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but B, because with everything that's going on, I'm way more tapped into the collegiate scene as of late. That's where I do a lot of my stuff, but because of that, and I guess the ability for me to kind of just go against the grain, I just started falling in love with golf again. I think it was post-COVID when everyone started to think it was cool for the first time. I was like, to my knowledge, this was never cool previously, but here we go. I was like, I'm glad that I got to be a virgin in high school for this, but at least kids now get to, enjoy themselves and things of that nature. So,
well, it's becoming a lot cooler when you've got a guy like 18-year-old Blades Brown storming up the leaderboard. Yeah. I mean, when you've got younger athletes, Ricky Fowler spoke about it, 18-year-old Blades Brown. Next thing you know, it's going to be a 15, 16-year-old contending in a PGA Tour event. But he's an athlete. You gave me a little bite on some of his history. Let's start there, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so first and foremost, Blades Brown, can you come up with a better name for a golfer? Like, if you were to have a son, Blades Doctor, you're like, he knows what he's getting in the bag. There's no questions asked. But no, it's actually figured out it's his mother's maiden name.
Okay, so Blades got his mother's maiden name. I mean, that should tell you who has the stronger genes between mom and dad. Is that right?
It should, and I'm going to double down on that. His mom was actually in the WNBA back in the day. She was an All-American basketball player at Vanderbilt. And according to Blades' Wikipedia page, or maybe it's hers, went down the rabbit hole last night. I'm pretty sure that she was the first to ever make a three-point shot in a WNBA game. Don't quote me on that. However,
that's confirmed, Adam. I confirmed it. Spot on there, my friend.
Let's go. Fired up. Okay. We're feeling good. So, yeah, obviously, between Park and Rhonda, they did a great job with Blades, 18 years old. The first thing I want to start with here, he uses a very specific adjective to describe his feelings on shooting 60. He says he's, and I quote, stoked, right? You just played that clip earlier. What's your initial gut check, just, as somebody in the media, your thoughts on a guy saying, yeah, I'm stoked to shoot 60 at 18 years old?
I'm Adam, I'm blown away by the maturity when this guy stands in front of a microphone. It's all class. He is a savant with his words. And my first impression is that this is, when you're talking about a time that we are in the game where the PGA Tour ecosystem is funneling out talent, Thorby Jornson, Cootie, Ludvigo Berg, David Ford, to have a super young guy here, a la Spieth back in 2013, when we were watching him win the John Deere at 19 years old, this is electric. From the standpoint of the media, to have an 18-year-old going up there challenging another sheriff and Scotty Scheffler in week 2 of the PGA Tour season, I don't think you could script it any better. Now, we have to wait and see. Blades Brown, he's going to play the Stadium course today, which is the toughest of the 3. I think there's a lot of people in Vegas betting on someone like Siwoo Kim or Wyndham Clark playing at one of the easier courses to sneak up on Scheffler and Brown. I'm not buying it. I think these two are solid as steel. And I think as long as you're driving it okay, which Scheffler and Brown both are, you shouldn't have very many problems at the Stadium course when you're playing on their kind of level. But to answer your question, Adam, color me fired up, color me obsessed with the Blades Brown story.
Oh, I missed me a good colored me obsessed from the doc. But, yeah, dude, exactly like you just said. You're seeing a kid with this level of maturity, and I think the youth are just starting to continue that trend. I feel like they're just ready to go. They're ready for the game. And I know I kind of mentioned that to you as well. The Scotties of the world, the Rorys of the world, are they still as scary in the mind of, a newcomer 18-year-old is, obviously not Tiger, because we'll probably never see that level of intimidation in sport again, but
well, Adam, this is what we're going to find out today as Blades takes on a tougher Stadium course. What separates Scheffler is that his misses are better than everyone else. His C game is better than everyone else's A game. When he is off, Scheffler still finds a way to get up and down, still finds a way to avoid 3 putts, doesn't lose any balls off the tee. Let's see on Blades Brown's B or C game what he can do when the irons start to go astray, when he's having to get up and down, 3 or 4 times over the course of 9 holes. I'm not saying that happens today or tomorrow, but when you talk about the intimidation factor, when did Scotty start intimidating his peers? Scotty's run started 2021, 2022. By 2023, when players started to figure out, wow, even when this guy's a little off with his irons, maybe doesn't have it with the putting before he saw Phil Kenyon, still at the top of the boards. That is the ultimate marksman, I think, for intimidation in the world of golf. When you think about Tiger, Jack, Scotty, when these guys don't have their A game, they're still out there kicking ass. Adam, great call there. We got to take a quick break. Great call from Sheriff. We'll hear from you again. More of your calls on the other side. We will get to hearing from players Pearson Cootie, who's going to need a low one to get back in the mix today. We hear from Will Zalatoris coming off an injury. He had a disc replacement. We're going to hear a lot from Zal. He is tied 48th at 9 under going to the weekend, and more of your calls. This is the Golf Hour with Will Doctor. Back after this.
Mike Booker, chairman of the Texas Golf Hall of Fame and holder of a record number of Texas Golf Association championships.
The Texas Golf Hall of Fame is the foundation of golf in our great state. So many great individuals: Ben Hogan, Byron Nelson, Kathy Whitworth, Ben Crenshaw, Babe Zaharias, Tom Kite, and many more lead the way in making golf in Texas known around the world. Learn about the historic golf courses and the individuals that promoted the game through leadership, teaching, and passion. Texas and golf go hand in hand in the history of the game and camaraderie. Together we can honor the past, celebrate the present, and inspire future generations of Texas golfers. Golf is a sport for everyone, and I encourage you to experience the history of Texas golf digitally at texasgolfhof.org and share with your golf family and friends. That's texasgolfhof.org. See you on the course.
You're listening to the Golf Hour
On ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
from the Huntington Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor.
Get to more of your calls shortly. I want to bring you through where the favorites are at the American Express. Scotty Scheffler, he opened at 3-1 to start this week. He is in a share of first. Ben Griffin was your second favorite at 20-1. He is tied 12th, 4 back going to the weekend at 13-1 odds. 3-time winner last year. Not that much value in Griffin going to the weekend. Ludvig Berg opened at 22-1. He is in a tie for 48th at 9 under. 8 shots back at 1,000-1 heading into the weekend. Watch out for Oberg, though, next week at the Farmers at Torrey, where he won the Genesis last season. Russell Henley was your fourth favorite. He opened at 25-1. Pretty good value for Henley going to the weekend. He is in a tie for 12th at 13 under. 4 back heading into the weekend at 55-1. Putting savant Henley has played well at the Amex over the years. Not a bad look there. Sam Burns was your fifth favorite at 25-1. He is in a share of 18th at 12 under. Starting the weekend, 5 back with Scheffler and Brown. And then Patrick Cantlay opened at 25-1. He is in a tie for 12th at 13 under. 4 back at 16-1 odds. Besides Oberg, all of these favorites are in position. Not that I think Scheffler or Brown are going anywhere, but the one chance for the rest of these players, as aforementioned, is if Scheffler goes to the stadium course and only fires 1 or 2 under. That's probably their best case scenario. You could see a Griffin, a Henley, a Burns absolutely storm up the leaderboard on moving day. We'll get to a couple other players later on. I want to get to Ricky on the offseason shoulder rehab. I want to get to Jason Day putting some new irons in play. But I don't want to leave hanging the top of the board at the Dubai Desert Classic. Patrick Reed is at 14 under. Houston native Patrick Reed, 2018 Masters champion. He's got a 4-shot lead rolling into the final round in Dubai. Let's hear some words from Reed after round 3.
Patrick, another fabulous day here at the Emirates Golf Club. A 67, trying to give us an evaluation of the day out there.
Yeah, obviously at the end it was definitely solid and a good score at the end. But there early in the round it just didn't really settle out. Even after the birdies on 2 and 3, it was just kind of one of those things that the swing didn't feel 100%, but I was missing it, where I needed to, and just allowing my putter to work. And then, it kind of clicked there when I actually hit a really good drive on 8. I mean, and on that point on, from there, I felt like the swing was really solid and kind of locked in, and I was able to kind of take advantage of those par 5s.
You said your swing felt really solid. It does seem that all facets of your game are on point at the moment. Is there one specifically, something that's really pleasing you the most at the moment?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now is driving. I feel like I'm driving the ball a little better right now. And, early this week, just seeing a couple putts go in. Last year, I felt like it was kind of one of those kind of half of the seasons where I felt like I was doing a lot of things really well. I felt like I was hitting a lot of good putts. The balls just weren't going in. There was a lot of lip outs and burned edges rather than falling. And, once I saw a couple go in this week, it just seems like the putter's back behaving, doing what it's supposed to, and then, it just allows me kind of free up the rest of my golf game.
Top 10 last year before you were a runner-up. How excited tomorrow are you at the chance of going one better?
Oh, I mean, you're always excited showing up on a Sunday with the lead. That's what I feel like all of us live for as players, is, as competitors, is to have a chance to win on Sundays and, play late on Sundays and just battle out with all the guys. And, I know it's not going to be easy. It never is. It doesn't matter how big of a lead you have. But, I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and just, hopefully just kind of go out there and just keep doing what I'm doing, plugging along and hitting fairways, make some greens.
Patrick, we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Good luck.
Thank you.
Reed's looking for his first win since, he won last year at Live Golf Dallas. The last 4-round tournament he won, I believe, was the Link Hong Kong Open in November of 2024. And as he said, the big thing for Reed over the last couple months, he's been playing very well. It's just been a wait game for that driver to get straightened out. You're seeing that happen over the first 3 days at Emirates. Reed's going to have a very good chance going to the final round, where he is 4 shots ahead of David Puig, and then tie for third at 9 under in a 2-way tie is Andy Sullivan and Victor Hovland. Tanner is on the line. Tanner wants to talk about the DP World Tour. Tanner, how are you this morning, my man?
I'm good, man. How are you? Staying warm and dry?
Yeah, I'm staying warm and dry. I got the pipes wrapped. All the things you have to do here in Texas, where we're extremely underprepared for 26-degree weather, but hanging in there. Luckily, we've got great golf on among the 2 leaderboards there at the Amex in Dubai.
Amen to that. I wanna keep it Hero Classic if you're okay with that.
100%, 100%, Tanner.
What is your thoughts on David Puig 5-1 odds? Obviously, starting the day, 4 shots back. First round, shot 72, slower round. Round 2 gets it going, 4 under, 68. Round 3, getting better, 66. Every round he's gotten better. I don't necessarily think I see Patrick Reed closing this one out. I think David Puig, coming off 2 Asian Tour wins and 1 DP World Tour event, I could see this guy going on a heater pretty soon. I see like a 65-64 today, and David Puig wins it. What do you think?
Tanner, I absolutely love this take. I mean, when you look at the first 3 days of this tournament, Patrick Reed, he was a couple back after round 1. He grabbed the round 2 lead, shooting a second round 66. And then he, obviously he just took off in the third round. I think the argument would be, was the third round 67. He has shot in 69, 66, 67. Does Reed have one more low one in him is the question, and he's going to have to keep that driver on track if he does. And as far as David Puig, I mean, we're talking about a guy who just came off a win at the BMW Australian PGA, finished tied third last week at the Dubai Invitational, putting extremely well, on with the driver. And not only is he a great driver as far as accuracy, his distance is incredible. Puig hitting it over, 340 every drive. Tanner, let's listen into Puig after round 3. Here's thoughts.
Well, David, I'd say that's a pretty successful moving day. Just try and describe your day in your own words.
No, yeah, it was a great day from start to finish. Obviously played really well on the front 9. Saved a great par on 8, and birdie on 9 to that pin is a little bonus. 11 hit one of the worst shots of my life, and managed to hit good ones really fast, which allowed me to finish really well.
And you got off to a great start today as well. What was the mindset going out there?
No, yeah, I mean, obviously tried to attack a little bit. We were a little behind, and obviously Patrick Reed and all the guys that are up there, they're really good players. So I know I needed a good one. Still a little behind. Patrick is playing really well, but hopefully, tomorrow we have a good chance.
You progressively got better with your scores each day this week. Do you feel like the cobwebs are slightly coming off your game and you're getting better each day?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the first day was definitely a tougher day, toughest day with the win. But yeah, I hit it really well today. Besides, that tee shot on 11, I think I played really good golf. So yeah, I'm just getting a little more comfortable with the plays, I guess, and picking my spots a little better.
This place is renowned for comeback wins on the final day. You're going to have to do that tomorrow, it looks like. What will be the key for you tomorrow as you head out there to try and win this golf tournament?
I mean, just try and hit fairways and greens, to be honest. Just, try to put the ball in the fairway as much as I can, and from there, try to be as aggressive as I can when the course kind of lets me be. And, there's some holes and pin positions when, you need to be a little more conservative. And yeah, I mean, try to stick to that and hopefully, make a bunch of birdies.
Wish you all the best for that.
Thanks.
Yeah, David Puig shooting 4 back at 5-1, and Tanner, thanks for the call. I do love the take, especially in the reoccurring theme of it seems like every week the leader on the DP World Tour who holds the lead after round 2 and round 3 has a tough time closing. That said, we're really not talking about just any player here. We're talking about the 2018 Masters champion and Patrick Reed. He has closed the door, a number of times over his PGA Tour career. I mean, heck, he's a 9-time PGA Tour winner. He knows how to get the job done in the big moment. Puig is one of the rising stars on Live Golf, 24 years old out of Spain. And when you have a win in your last 3 starts, you have a fresh idea on how to get the job done in the big moment. So much to look forward to with the final round overnight of the Hero Dubai Desert Classic. We got to take a quick break. One more to go. Your calls after this break on the Golf Hour with Will Doctor.
The Golf Hour continues now on ESPN 97.5 and 97.9 HD2.
From the Huntington Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor.
All right, gearing up for one absolutely phenomenal weekend in the world of golf. Two Texas guys at the top of the board at Amex in Dubai, as we've talked about all show. How about Jake, the Sam Stevens lover, calling in? Sam Stevens, 4 back heading into the weekend at the American Express. I'm fired up. Will Dennis is fired up. Friend of the show. Jake, what do you got for us this morning? Good morning to you.
How you doing, Will?
Hey, I'm good, Jake. How are you?
Cold. It's like 4 degrees here.
Where in the world are you?
I am in Athens, Ohio.
Okay, so we're complaining about 29-degree weather here in Houston, and it's not even there yet. I mean, it's probably right now. It's probably in the mid-50s, mid-40s. Supposed to drop down to 26. Everyone's freaking out down here. You're up in Ohio, 4 degrees. I mean, can you even walk outside up there?
Yeah, you just put on a light jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, we're supposed to get like a foot of snow tomorrow, so.
So you're parked watching the coverage, is that right?
What'd you say?
You're parked all weekend watching this coverage of the Amex, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have nothing else to do.
And your thoughts on the coverage through 2 rounds, Jake?
To be honest, well, you touched on the ESPN Plus, and I know they have like 3 courses that they're watching. It's hard.
But
to
it's
get everybody
also
in there.
2025, right? Like when you have
Right. I mean,
3 feeds and 20 cameras, and you're not seeing Thorpe or Cootie or Stevens or the first 8 holes of Blades Brown. It's a problem, right?
yeah, I mean, like Sam Stevens not a bum. I mean, he shot 64 on Thursday, 0 shots covered. I mean, ESPN Plus is just one thing. I mean, but they usually do like special grouping, so like it's kind of usual you don't see him on there.
Yeah, but
Then you
it
get to, like,
was
the golf
just, you're
channel.
so right in the sense that Sam Stevens, he was 5 under through 11 in that first round. Not one shot was shown, but then the broadcast is showing Danny Walker over par, Tom Kim over par, Harry Hall over par. Who are these players we're watching while our guys from Texas are at the top of the board? That's my problem there, Jake.
Yeah, my biggest problem is actually the Instagram, because I know a lot of people that's like one of their main forms of media, and we're not showing anything except Scotty Scheffler, who literally had 8 people ahead of him, and all they were showing was Scotty Scheffler, no other gameplay of any other person on tour.
Yeah, there's a lot of bias there with the PGA Tour Instagram. I'm going to be honest here, they're understaffed. They don't have enough people kind of scouting out the how do I say it, the more underdog headlines. When you're talking about players who could go to the top of the board today, like Sam Stevens, like Max Gracerman, Austin Smotherman is another one. The tour, they're shortcutting a little bit. They're not diving into those stories on Instagram. You see they go into depth sometime with the PGA Tour Originals. I just think, and I completely agree with this take. It's just I think they are guessing that the attention span of the viewer on Instagram is not sharp enough to get into a story like some of these underdogs we're talking. It's a great call from Jake. We'll hear from you again soon. Let's go to Tim on the DP World Tour. Timmy time. What's going on, brother? Tim, you're on the Golf Hour with Will Doctor on ESPN Houston. Fire away.
Looks like we got a former Masters champion with a 4-shot lead in Dubai, and I think he's going to get it done. 4-shot lead over David Puig, who shot a 66. But to follow up a 66 with another 66, a 65 or better, it's very tough to do when you have a Masters champion with a 4-shot lead who knows how to get it done.
Well, we spoke yesterday, Tim. You didn't sound too confident in Reed after the second round. We talked a little bit about Rory. But what about Victor Hovland coming up the leaderboard? He's at 9 under, 5 back. Let's hear from Hovland before or after the third round that put him into contention.
Fabulous Saturday, 65, Victor, out there at the Emirates Golf Club. Try and talk us through that round.
Yeah, it was very nice and steady today. Hit a lot of fairways and was able to give myself some decent looks. Front nine was a lot of just hitting it to 40, 50 feet and trying to two-putt. And then on the back nine, I started getting a bit more going and made a lot more putts today. Thanks to Shea, he was reading some of the, or all the shorter putts with me, so that really helped.
I know you've had a few swing changes recently. How happy are you now that they're a bit more integrated into your game?
Yeah, I mean, I know I played a wonderful round of golf today, and certainly no complaints about a bogey-free 65 out here. This place is no joke, but still doesn't feel like I can stand on the tee and kind of swing for the fences and swing loosely. It's all very contrived and manufactured, and it happened to go straight today, and if I get off the tee in a decent position, I can really do some damage. But I'd really like to be able to stand on the tee box and swing hard and know that the ball is going to go fairly straight.
Your name is already etched on the trophy here from 2022. You were 6 back on that final day back then. I'm not sure you're going to be that far back. How much are you going to draw on those memories from 2022?
I think the most important thing with that year is that it's not over until it's over, because this golf course, if you're a little bit off, you can easily shoot 2, 3, 4 over par, and if you get it going, you can shoot 6, 7, 8 under par. So there's massive swings out here, and definitely taking some just remembering about that year, that it's not over. So hopefully we get a nice round tomorrow.
Superb round today, Victor. Go well tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
That's your story as far as a potential dog that could come back and catch Reed. He hit the nail on the head there, Hovland did. If you're a little bit off with your driver at Emirates Golf Club, you're in a lot of trouble, and that happens to be Patrick Reed's one weakness. Another interesting bite. Do we still have Timmy? Timmy, how about Shea coming in and reading Hovland's short putts yesterday? I don't think I've ever seen a caddy come in and read putts consistently inside 8 feet. Your thoughts there?
I don't think so either, which is why I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on Victor Hovland to come back and win this thing. If you're having to rely on your caddy to read that many putts in a single round, it just means your confidence with the flat stick of reading putts isn't at the best level to win a golf tournament when you have major champions in the field and one with a 5-shot lead over you. So
yeah, Tim, excellent point.
Talent.
Excellent point. And Hovland, you look at his last 5 starts. He's got 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts. He's got the tied 7th at the BMW towards the end of the 25 tour season. He played well on the DP in the fall, tied 5th at the BMW PGA, tied 6th at the DP World Tour India Championship. But he has lost shots to the field, has putted below tour average in both of his last 2 events, in India and at the Nedbank. So that gives you a feel he's been struggling with the putting the last 2 events, and now he's bringing Shea in to read short putts. He, like he said, he has come back there in 2022 from a 6-shot deficit to win this tournament. I think I got to be with Timmy time here. I got to think that Patrick Reed is going to go ahead and finish the job. We did hear from Tanner earlier in the show. He likes Puig at 5-1. I'm going to have to stick with Reed there as far as Dubai is concerned. Great show today. Excellent work from Ryan Morrow and the 1s and 2s. We'll talk next weekend on the Golf Hour with Will Doctor.